this is kind of raw material for us. What to focus on next and what to kind of think and apply. And the pedagogical approaches are environmental and historical awareness and creative and spatial thinking.
A sort of will to understand what is site-specific, and then what is a construction site, a site to be. And this kind, and what you said, it is a site that is built, but then do we see or are we aware of the other stories or the other realities that is in that area? Whereas in Fuglsang, we heard stories about the agriculture, then the thin line between the site-specific art, and it felt, and I heard that it's organic, but then we can ask, is it really? Because it is a built site as well, isn't it? And then there is this question about, and observations about ready-made, and then the tunnel is something to be, something work in process. Whereas there are thousands of people that the place is very meaningful for them at the moment. And then that raises a lot of questions, like they're from all over Europe, then are they happy? What kind of services they longing for, etc., etc.
Yeah. And the project result will be the tunnel.
Yeah.
But then what we are asking for is what will be behind the results and what will be the added value of this project, and how will it be sustained after the project ended. That means when the tunnel is finished. Because now they are building a lot of competence, which is quite unique in Europe. There will be a lot of people coming here. They have a lot of workforce with a specific competence. And how can this be utilized further after the tunnel is finished?
Right.
So I think this is what I would like to hear. What is the local and the regional Danish people think of that?
In Finland, at least, we have a scope of kind of systemic thinking. What kind of system we are creating around, and that's sustainable and blah 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 blah. But if you're kind of thinking now from the tunnel perspective, it's kind of, hey, we deal with this project and it has end, and then we kind of go off, and that's typical in certain fields. And then there are kind of like other kind of thoughts, and then we have to kind of think, what is the education's or school's role here with that scope? Are we maintaining that this is short term and we are ending this project on time and we have enough workforce? Or are we kind of thinking that, hey, what are the opportunities we are creating and potential, and what next 15 years after this? And this is one thing in between.
It's important what you say. You are building here with this construction site a lot of competencies, but so people will have new competencies and all that. Where will these competencies go when the project is finished? What will be the local competence or the competencies that will be here? So in Norway it was clear. You build like a cluster for salmon. You have these competencies on agriculture and aquaculture and salmon. Will be the same here. So there will be a cluster for construction of this kind of tunnel here in Denmark. It's just a question.
The concrete factory and the place they built the elements will stay. So our government has decided that it can stay where it is. So in future constructions, at least in Denmark, maybe also in Europe, we will be able to produce these big elements for. It doesn't have to be a tunnel, it could also be a bridge or something else. So I think in that perspective, some of the competences will stay, but a lot of the workers will leave. So because they are international workers, I would say it is workers that moves around for these big construction sites. But I think there is something with the element factory that it's staying. Something will happen to this, and they will need special competences, the workers there.
As an educational institute, how could you approach all of them, or where would it be, or who's taking care of the sort of skills that the community needs? And I think the subconstructors are not interested in that. They are just bringing in their knowledge and their work. So then there is a question, where is it then?
Yeah.
Or where could it be? And could the educational institution, could it be part of this kind of, I would say, soft skills concerning the community?